We have traveled all over East Africa, finding hardworking farmers who are making a good life on their shambas.
We want to learn from them, turn their farms into good businesses,
and help them increase their profits.
Join us and see how our farmers benefit from the experts' advice.
And share their experiences as we shape up their shambas.
Karibu
to the Shamba Shape Up Safari. Welcome to Shamba Shape Up.
Today we are in Morop village, Kampi Ya Moto, Nakuru County. Once a busy town because of the railway station, it's a bit quiet now. The climate here is usually dry, but Shamba Shape Up came in the wet season. The main crops grown here are maize and wheat.
We have come to visit Elizabeth and Ezekiel Kapkei and their grandchildren. Well, Elizabeth and Ezekiel, thank you so much for inviting us to your lovely home. So, how long have you lived here?
Okay, for the last 8 years, since 2007.
So, and who is the farmer between the two of you?
Mama is the farmer. Just now a retired civil servant. There's now time to come and assist her in the farm.
Right.
And that's what I can say.
So, Ezekiel, how is retirement?
I think so far so good. We are able to work together to improve on where she has been.
Yes.
On the various activities on the farm.
And are you enjoying farming?
I'm enjoying farming. At least I can see what the dairy animals are producing, and I'm happy that at least we're seeing the production.
So you're happy for the health?
Yes, I'm very happy for the health. At least the two are better than one.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Now that Shamba Shape Up is here, how can we improve on what you've done?
You will see what we have already done. You will see where maybe we have gone wrong, where we have not done well. Because you see, as a person, you can't correct yourself. Exactly. Someone else outside will see, oh, Mama has been doing well, and here it needs something to be done.
Elizabeth has a few dairy cows giving her lots of milk. She's got sheep, goats and calves all mixed up in one house. And Papi, the dog that loves to hang around the cows.
On the Shamba, she's growing maize and beans. She's got 2 greenhouses where she has planted strawberries.
So, let us set up our base camp and get to work.
What an impressive Shamba, Naomi.
That's true.
Now we need to make sure that Ezekiel catches up with Elizabeth. So I'm going to take him to meet an expert to discuss more on East Coast fever.
And while you do that, I'm going to take Elizabeth to Shamba, where we're going to meet an expert to talk to us about conservation farming and the different ways of dealing with weed.
Okay, I'll see you later, Naomi.
Okay, see ya. Conservation agriculture, or CA, is a way to farm that helps you get better yields. Michael, an expert on CA from Food and Agricultural Organization, is here to help Elizabeth use this type of farming to do better. So what are your observations?
Your soil is rather shallow. You've developed a hard pan at a very low level, about 15 centimeters. Your soil is supposed to be around 30 centimeters.
So, Michael, when you're saying a hard pan, what does that exactly mean?
A hard pan is something that is created by digging to a low level, to a certain level over a long period of time. You don't get below this level, and the shear of the djembe creates a hard pan, somewhere where water cannot penetrate deep inside.
A hard pan is a hard layer of soil that root and water cannot pass. Using a djembe a lot on your farm will make a hard pan in your soil, so the crops cannot grow properly.
Another problem, your crops seem to have serious deficiencies. We seem to have nitrogen, magnesium, and phosphorus deficiencies. These are problems that are solved by using fertilizer. The third problem is that you seem to have a serious weed problem. By just delaying by 2 weeks to weed your crop, you can actually lose up to 30 to 50% of the yield that you would have gotten, because the weeds are eating the food and the water and the sunlight that your crop should be getting. Under conservation agriculture, which is the method that we are promoting, you do not dig your farm. You do not take a djembe and dig in your shamba. We encourage you to do something called either shallow weeding or pulling by hand. For example, we encourage you not to plow your land. When you do not plow your land, you do not bring up the seeds that are in the ground to the surface for them to start germinating. Every time you dig, you're bringing up a seed bank that is already in the ground to the surface, and they will germinate. Two, under conservation agriculture, we encourage that you always have a soil cover, something covering the soil. This can be mulch, that is organic material that is scattered all over the farm. When you do that, any place where the organic matter is, no weed can germinate from that place. So this will actually suppress the weed burden on your farm, and it will make weeding much easier.
Spraying herbicide is a quick and effective way to stop weeds growing, but the herbicide has to be used properly. The person spraying the herbicides needs to know what type of weeds they are controlling to get the right herbicide and the type of nozzles to use for the herbicide, so they don't kill the crop too. For doing shallow weeding, a tool called ground cutter is pushed and pulled through the soil to cut the weeds just below the soil surface. Metal guides on the side of the tool let you work close to the other plants like your crop without cutting them. The great thing about spraying for weed or using a ground cutter is that they save a lot of time and effort, so you can get on with your other work.
Ezekiel has got all his friends to bring their cattle here because we have decided to protect them against East Coast fever. Now, Ezekiel, you've been away, and I'm sure you want to catch up on what has been going on in your Shamba.
Perhaps I would then ask the expert, Mr. Ongeri, to perhaps explain to me what is East Coast fever, being a common disease within our region.
Yeah, Ezekiel, thank you. East Coast fever is a deadly disease, mainly of cattle, and it is transmitted by ticks, commonly known as brown ear ticks, because they are normally found around the ears.
What are the main symptoms of ECF?
The main symptoms of ACF will be they lack appetite to eat, they look dull, their temperature will be too high, those that are milking will cut the milk production. In some cases, you'll see difficulties in breathing, and more particularly, you'll have enlarged lymph nodes. Those are the main signs of East Coast fever. The best way of controlling East Coast fever is through vaccinating your animals. That is the sure way of being protected.
How often do you need to vaccinate?
The vaccination is done once in the lifetime of the cow or the animal. So if you do it once, you don't need to booster every year. It's once in the lifetime. Yeah.
Is it easier to vaccinate rather than to cure?
Yes, it is easier to vaccinate than to cure because the cost of treatment is too high. It will cost you like 5,000 shillings, but the vaccination will cost you like 1,000 shillings, and you only do it once in the lifetime of the cow.
To vaccinate your cow against ECF, you need to call a trained vet who will come to do the vaccination. You need to get 40 cows together, some from your neighbors, because the dose of each vaccine is enough for 40 cows. The cows must be older than 3 weeks and not sick nor in calf. The vet will weigh your cow, check its health, deworm, and inject it with antibiotics and the vaccine. The animal will have an ear tag when it's been vaccinated, which will show everyone is been vaccinated against ECF, so you can get a good price for it at the market. There you are, Naomi.
Yes.
So how are you getting on?
Very well. Elizabeth has learned about the 3 methods of controlling weed and the many benefits of it. Yeah.
And I've taught Ezekiel the importance of vaccinating cows against the East Coast fever.
And before we go for the break, let's get our number 1 tip from our farmer.
My advice to farmers is on proper management, because if you have started, this is a business. And as a business, one has to be there One has to run the business, because if you don't manage it, you leave it to others, you will not get what you was intending the business for.
And there's more advice coming up after the break, right here on Shamba Shape Up. If you'd like to receive all our Shamba Shape Up leaflets, SMS the word all together with your name and address to 30606. If you'd like to receive just the leaflet for this Shamba, SMS the name of the farmer together with your name and address to 30606. Welcome back to Shamba Shape Up. We are still here in Morop Village, Kampi Ya Moto, Nakuru County.
We are still shaping up Elizabeth and Ezekiel's Shamba.
So, Naomi, what do you want to do next?
Well, I've noticed they're having a problem, putting their calves in sheep together. So if we need to get an expert who can help them figure out what to do.
Okay, good,
Yes.
good. And I think with all the advice that you've given them, it's only good to finish off by giving them financial advice. And I'm going to get an expert to give them exactly that.
Right, so see you later.
All right, see you later, Naomi.
Yeah. Sheep and goats are not small cows. They need different feed and different management for them to be healthy and productive, and should not be kept together. Mr. Kirui has come to give Elizabeth and Ezekiel some tips.
The farmer have really tried, but there are some few problems here and there. Like for example, if you look behind here, you have the sheep and the calves together. It's not actually recommended that you mix the two. They should be having separate pens. And also, if you look at the sheep, there's no uniform growth, meaning that the nutrition part of it might not be right. And also, you look at the feeding trough. The feeding trough, the way it was constructed, actually was meant for cows and not sheep. So you find that the sheep are going in there, and at some point you find the droppings in between the feet. And that will compromise with the growth rate and also the health status of the animals. If you mix the two, then that means that there are some diseases which are being shared between the calves and the sheep, and also parasites like ticks and mange. So you'll be having a lot of problems if you mix the two. So for a farmer to succeed in sheep production and also dairy production, you should have two separate pens, and also the troughs should be separate and specific measurements for the sheep and also for the calves, the same to the cows.
So any other thing? Yes.
Now, for successful sheep production,
Yes.
you need to look at several aspects. One being nutrition, another being disease control, and also parasites.
I think there was the issue of sharing, maybe the frequency.
Right.
Or have you to see how long the wool is so that you remove? Maybe you can advise on that.
Yes,
Yes, you say
sharing
when it is having, it's not shared, it becomes a source for infestation.
Yes.
Maybe you can advise on that.
Sharing is usually done depending on the size of the wool. Usually it happens around every 6 months or every 1 year, depending on the region you are in. So sharing is done depending on the size of the wool, but it's a practice which will be done every now and then, depending on that the wool, the size of the wool. So if you do sharing and then you spray, that is also going to be very effective when it comes to tick control. Also, deworming is very important. It's one of the routine management which should be done. And for sheep, you do it every 2 months. I would ask the farmer how they usually do tick control on the sheep and also the cows.
We have been spraying using the knapsack.
Okay.
And I have a crush that is enough. So I put them in, then I spray.
Spray.
Yes.
The interval of spraying 1 week, 2 weeks?
1 week.
Usually 1 week.
Yes.
That is good because usually what we recommend is you spray your animals every week. And also there's one very important management practice which we usually do on sheep that is called flushing. Flushing means you give high quality feed, including concentrates, just before breeding time, 3 weeks before breeding time and 3 weeks after breeding. That will ensure that you have successful conceptions, and also that will enable that sheep to actually carry it out pregnancy to term. because you are giving it extra energy, extra protein.
So, in terms of managing the feeds, Elizabeth, what do you do?
Okay, I give them the same feeds I feed the cows. I also give them the pellets, just the cow, like the cows. So they share one trough. They share the same food. So that is what I do.
What you do. So,
I've seen what you do and how you feed your sheep.
Yes.
But after looking at the feed you are giving to the sheep, I've noticed that you feed them on maize stovers.
Yes.
And usually the chopping is not right because the size is actually big.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to crush them, not to chop. Give fresh grass also, like napier, that will provide vitamins also. And also water is available. I've looked at your water trough. It's good, but not really clean. So you need to give clean water and make sure that you clean the trough around every 3 or 2 days, so that you make sure that the water you are giving to your animals are fresh and clean. Yeah.
Kirui also tells us that it is important to keep the shed clean to stop diseases like foot rot and also to stop your animals from aborting. If Elizabeth separates the calves from the sheep, shears the sheep and feeds them properly, she can get better profits from her flock. Work with your local vet to set up a health management program for your sheep and goats.
Elizabeth keeps good records, and they have a lot of enterprises on their farm. But they want to grow their dairy hard, and they might need to take a loan. Miriam is a financial expert and can talk to us about loans. Miriam, you have seen the different enterprises that our farmers have in their Shamba. What do you think of them?
They're very good, well diversified, and also they're doing very well.
Is it necessary for farmers to take loans?
Loans are not for all farmers. A farmer needs to be prepared to actually take a loan. You need a good plan. You need good enterprises to finance with a loan.
The first time we started Mzee Finance for the 4 cows, and then now after he financed for the 4 cows, now I went for a loan. That is when I bought 2 more dairy cows. And then where I bought 4 more animals, and also I bought the dairy feed. Yes. So that will sustain me for the next 1 year.
That is very good planning, Elizabeth.
So what common mistakes do farmers make when applying for loans?
You've had their loans being given, you go and apply for it without planning, without ensuring that you actually need this loan. You don't need a loan for a lot of the work that you do in the farm. You can use other financial products like savings. Another thing to consider, Elizabeth, when taking a loan is what collateral you're going to give the financial institution. Collateral is a security requirement by financial institutions that you will be able to, in case you are not able to repay the loan, then they can fall back on the collateral. That is why I was saying it is very important to do planning and ensure that you don't lose your collateral when you're taking a loan. A collateral can be title deed, it can be a group savings, it can be also the insurance that you have on the cows.
A loan can be both risky and difficult if you don't have a good plan to repay it. But with the right plan, a loan can help you to improve your Shamba and build your business.
Record keeping is a very important activity. As you can see, that the first thing that we ask the farmer is whether they keep records. If you're going to take a loan, you have to have very good records of everything. You also need records for the inputs that you buy, so that when you're doing the plan, you're using a holistic approach to plan for the loan.
It's only that as we take loans, we have to know what are the risks involved. Yeah.
When you're taking a loan, the financial institutions are keen that you have an insurance. Let's say an insurance for cows, as she has told us. Cattle insurance is available with most of the insurance companies. So it is good for farmers to explore this. Now, The reason why we are talking about risks is the possibility that there's a disaster and the farmer is not able to repay. So the financial institutions can actually resort to the insurance companies as a collateral, yeah, to repay that loan, part of the loan, yeah, or repay even the whole loan, depending on how you structure the insurance.
So, Elizabeth, what are your future projections?
It's my desire to see that I have 30 cows. It's because the more animals you have, the profit margin goes up. So right now, my husband has come on retirement. We are now seeing how we are going to go about so that we can reach the 30 animals. Yes.
Now, for our farmers to reach their goals, as she has mentioned,
Yes.
what do they need so that they are able to achieve all that?
Yes. One of the things that you need is a business plan. A business plan can be 3 years. Yeah, it shows your future plans for the next 3 years. So you do the costing, you do the revenues, you do the projections of those. Then you try to see, out of the revenues that you're going to generate, is it enough, for example, to take a loan?
Elizabeth has a business plan for her dairy herd. She can now go to the bank for the loan. The bank will ask for a collateral or a guarantor in case she can't repay the loan. She wants to borrow 130,000 shillings over 1 year at a rate of 15% interest to buy a cow. This means over a year, she has to pay back 149,500 shillings. If the cow gives 20 liters a day and she sells at 40 shillings per liter, she gets 5,600 shillings a week. Every week she must repay 2,875 shillings loan. If she doesn't, they charge a fee. For 2 months, the cow will be dry. So, she needs to save up to repay her loan in those 2 months or look for other income like selling vegetables or other animals. If she can't pay back the loan, they will take her collateral or ask the guarantor to pay for her. So, she can vaccinate her cow so that it doesn't get sick and dies. To reduce her risk, she can also insure the cow so the insurance pays if the cow dies. With the right plan, loans can be worth it.
So, Ezekiel and Elizabeth, our stay here has come to an end.
Yes.
So, how did you find our sheep?
I enjoyed the way you've shown us much, and I've learned a lot from your coming. Yes.
Right.
Ezekiel, Elizabeth said she wants to start an office for you here in the Shamba. As a farm manager, you'll be reporting early in the morning in a suit and tie. Are you willing to do that?
I'm willing, and as we said, we have learned about the farm issues, the farm management issues, about the ECF, and how you can improve on the issues of farming. Yeah, so I'm just very happy.
So now you're ready to take on another job.
I'm ready and very much willing to take on another job.
But without the suit and the tie.
Without the suit and tie.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. And you'd like us to visit again?
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcomed again. Yes.
All right.
We were happy.
Good.
Thank you.
Well, our work here is done, and we'll see you next time on
Shamba Shepherd.
Are you a farmer like me? Do you want to smile all the way to the bank? It's simple. Just get all your answers from iShamba by just SMSing the word join to 21606, and they will call you any day, anytime.
Shamba Shape Up is also online. Visit us at shambashapeup.com. Select the episode and click play. You can also visit Shamba Shape Up's Facebook page, where you can enter great competitions and also get involved in great discussions. Shamba Shape Up is also on Twitter at Shamba Shape Up.